Hello, everybody. Moja bi krupne net ili tak normal. Unfortunately, I can't see people who are coming in. So while you are all coming in, I'm going to go ahead and welcome those who are here. Philip is at the back, eh? Maybe you want to sit closer in case I might want to refer to you. Unless it's going to uncomfort or discomfort you anyhow, so you might stay there, but you can always come here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, for everybody on the Facebook, welcome. I can't see your name as usual because you can guess why. I am sitting with the HMT students, train the trainers. These are people that want to go and formalize their knowledge. Whatever they have learned, they want to formalize it and be able to actually use it more professionally. And Pastor Derek has been doing this for years now. He's been doing this for years with his much veritable assistant, Philip Isaacs. They are both here. So they have been practicing this and they have been going all over the world, including Namibia, by the way. Memory. So, memory. So this time I got it right. So they've been to your country. And I've never been to your country, but they've been there, you see. That's what the gospel does for you. The gospel has expanded their territory beyond Canada. So they have been doing a good job formalizing this HMT system into an institution. I mean, that is the ideal. That is the height of what do you call it? Immortalizing yourself. That is the best way the only way. Actually, Ephraim also is here as one of the teachers, right? Yeah, so three people came from Canada to help train the trainers so that they will be able to, go out to all countries they are coming from, instead of Pastor Derek himself to be traveling to all the countries and killing himself in the process. So it's better to, formalize it so that you all could get a certificate. And then using that certificate, you'll be able to actually formally represent HMT and, carry the material and the resources to the end of the world. So I want to present to the people out there, because some of you also might be willing to participate in Train the Trainers program. And that's why I'm sure this is not being broadcasted, because it's Train the Trainers, it cannot be broadcasted. But I am coming up today talking to the two of you. Both of you at home are here because, it's a series that we are continuing, and so it will work good for everyone. But I would like to present the three people from Canada: Ephraim, Isaacs, and Pastor Derek. You come here and stand so that people out there at home will see you, and you'll be able to get in touch with them if you will, or with us, if you would like to participate in the future Train the Trainers. We can't see Ephraim. Where is Ephraim there? Okay. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, so that's where they are the ones who have been instrumental in setting up this program to be able to train people that will be able to train other people. And that's the principle of multiplication. That's the only way to multiply yourself, when you train people and you train other people. So if you would like to join HMT anytime soon in future, and you will not just, because you must have gone through at least one stage before you could attend this Train the Trainers. So, you have to have attended one anywhere in the world before you could be qualified to be trained. So most of the people who are here have attended one or more HMTs Now they are qualified to attend the second one. So what do you say, Pastor Derek?
Well, this is a dream come true in many ways, to be able to replicate ourselves in these who are here first. I was saying this morning that these are the first of the first. These are the first fruits who have come here that are catching the heart of HMT. They've been through HMT.
No, love it, yeah? We love it. Né? Slava.
Yeah, this group here, I was saying this morning, are the first of the first as far as Train the Trainers goes. These are the ones who have come first fruits.
Not money.
Yeah, and these are real seeds that are being sown.
Real
because they're people.
Not money seeds.
Yeah, they're seeds being sown, and I'm so proud of them because I actually said to them this morning, of all the people that come and go from here who say, I want to do HMT, I want to take HMT to the world.
Just talk, right?
But just talk. I was surprised at how much was just talk.
Just talk.
And then these people...
I tried to tell you that.
Well, you told me that.
And a lot of people are just talking.
You're always right. But these are the people who came. They paid the price. They've come. And that's really the foundation.
Diligence, yeah.
That's what makes HMT work. The price has to be paid.
Yeah.
And HMT was birthed through pain and trial, and we're just very thankful to you, Pastor Sunday. We discussed that this morning, how thankful we are for you who have paid the price for this working gospel, this machine that can go throughout the world and transform nations before the return of Jesus Christ. These people are pumped, they're engaged, they're learning, they're catching it. There was an atmosphere this morning and this afternoon that was just amazing as far as the spirit of HMT. So I'm so proud of these students that have come here.
Anybody wants to say anything to contribute? One
Yes.
of you guys? Yes.
Of course. When I took History Makers training for the first time, it became the turning point in my entire life. It was at that point I found that it was the kingdom of God that really saved my life. And because of that, I only had a dream that I would be able to speak at maybe one of the workshops, or I would, be able to help others that spoke. And now, because of, staying alongside Pastor Derek and through the mentorship, I'm now able to go on my own and do the same thing, carry the same message and have the same results. And so... And so there's,
duplicable.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a dream come true. And then I've realized that there are the small, fine details that go on behind the scenes when it comes to running the History Makers training. And when I learned that, I realized that this is what I actually have to be able to teach to others, is the small, fine details like the coordination, the facilitation portion that when you take the training, you don't see. But it's actually the heartbeat of the training itself. Mm-hmm. And so being able to teach the people here today about those small, finite details, and then staying engaged with it really proves that they're willing to pay the price with their attention, with their time, with their energy, staying engaged, wanting to, go the distance to make history in their communities, societies, and nations. So I want to thank you all for being here and applaud you for taking that step of faith and really making a difference. So thank you.
And especially for those who are watching, remember we were teaching this morning on our system to raise up 1,000 trainers globally, 12,000 transformation councils, and 120,000 legitimate history makers in our generation. So if you haven't signed up for something like this before, beg the staff here for us to have this again, so you can be part of those.
Some people are saying, I must be there this time next year.
Yeah, should have been there this time.
What I would like to share with you is that my experience taking the first HMT, my before and my after. What I really got is being a person who knows some of the principles from God and trying to live with them. After HMT, I became more conscious about that. And I learned how to live with them. And now every time, what I've seen on myself is that consciousness allows me to be more alert when I am doing something, especially in the way to share or to give more to people. And that's part of the example from Jesus, right? That he came to work for everybody and make them better and well, make us, in that sense, equipped to go and establish the kingdom all over the world. And that's what I feel now. That is the most important thing, to do something when you are purposeful and when you do with intention, but an intention that is well defined about what God is asking us to do. So living by principles allows us to grow and make better stuff, or really believing what Jesus said, that we are going to be able to do miracles as he did. But these miracles will be, from my point of view, sharing with people, helping them to be equipped as well, and to grow in the way to take that responsibility to it, which is to expand the kingdom all over the world. And well, I am very grateful being here and having this opportunity, and really I thank God, as I said before, that he reveals this to Pastor Sunday and Pastor Derek to do this amazing job and allowing us to be here. And it's an amazing experience. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have your seat. Okay. Now, let's go back to through the journey that we have taken together so far. I don't know if you remember, but we started this journey by examining the 5 levels of truth. The 5 levels of truth. I mentioned those yesterday, and I don't wish to repeat that again today, because if you have not gone through that particular series, the 5 levels of truth, I will really encourage you to go and have a look on my YouTube. YouTube is Sunday Adelaja Official, Sunday Adelaja Official, and the series on truth is series number 36. Series number 36. Yes, so series number 36, I finished the 5 levels of truth. Then I started, and I see that the other one I started is not put in the series yet. So you girls, you need to put what we started from Monday in the category, in the YouTube category, series 36. So after that, I started another series that is called the Power and Force of Truth. The Power and Force of Truth. And after that, I went to what truth is not. What truth is not. And then why truth is really important. Why does truth matter? And why is truth important? We spoke about that. And today, after we have discovered that what truth is not, now I want to begin at last to begin to talk about what truth is. So we have discovered what truth is not. Now, what truth is? What is truth? What truth is? What is truth at the end of the day? So, not what is the truth. There is going to be another session. Did anybody write down the topics that I mentioned under the truth that I will be talking about? What is truth? What is the truth? What is not truth? I mean, did anybody write that down? Can you read them out for me, what I mentioned? If anybody can find them out. Because I just want to keep to my word that I wanted to address those topics. Why is truth important? Why does it matter? And, so I'm going to talk about what truth is, and then I'm going to talk about what is the truth. So this one is not what is the truth, it's what truth is. Okay? It's taking, you have it? Mm-hmm. So what are the other topics? Just mention them, I'll repeat.
So, truth, the moral and intellectual basis of any society.
Okay, that's another one. Truth, the moral and intellectual basis of any society.
Then why people deny the truth.
Why people deny the truth is another thing I'm going to talk about.
What is truth?
What is truth? Yes, that's what I'm doing now. Not what is the truth, but what is truth.
And then what truth is not?
What truth is not, I did that.
What truth is?
What truth is what I'm doing now, yeah.
Why truth matters?
Why truth matters, I've done that.
How to detect non-truth, or what is non-truth?
Okay, I'm yet to do that.
And then how do I know if something is the truth or not?
Yeah, what truth is not, you didn't mention that, but I've done that too.
I did.
You did, okay. And how to detect if something is the truth or not. So we have a long journey ahead of us. So what truth is? Now, this is a big question for me to answer. I know what is the truth, what the truth is, but because what the truth is easier for me to answer than what truth is. Or you people don't see the difference? No. I'm complicating your thinking faculty. Yeah, it's easier for me to answer the question, what is the truth, than what is truth. So, but what we are starting with is what is truth, which is much, much difficult. What is truth? Or what truth is? I would rather say what truth is, so that you don't confuse it with what is the truth. Yeah. So this is what truth is. So this what truth is not so easy. And the difference is that what is the truth is more definite, which is God, Christ, and all that, right? We know that. But what truth is for the general life, everyday life. So you cannot say, okay, this is Christ, so it's true. Functionality, everyday truth on daily basis, on experimental truth, life, universal truth. What is truth? Not what is the truth, but what is truth. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so what is truth, that is an answer that should satisfy anybody on daily basis. It should satisfy the intellectuals. It should satisfy the science world. It should satisfy the philosophers. It should satisfy the sociologists. It should satisfy the anthropologists. It should satisfy the religious people. It should satisfy people from other religion. It should be broad enough what truth is for everybody to be able to understand it and to be able to count with it. So what truth is, let me come with a definition. Truth is an expression, symbol, or statement that corresponds or matches with the matter at hand, with whatever we are talking about. So truth must correlate with reality that we are addressing. So truth is whatever statement or symbol or expression that is exactly corresponds exactly with whatsoever object we are referring to, or whatsoever the reference, whatever we are referring to. That is one aspect of it. That is one definition. Let me give you another definition. Maybe it will be easier for you. Another definition is truth must correspond to reality. Truth is whatsoever that corresponds or agrees with the way things are supposed to be, with reality, or with the way things are supposed to be, with the way things ought to be. So truth are things, or is something, or is an expression, symbol, statement that matches, corresponds with reality on how things ought to be like. But let me give you the third definition, which I didn't want to write here. I was supposed to write. The third definition for me is truth must correspond. Let me even write it right now. Otherwise, it will just be in my head. It will not be in my paper. It has to be in my paper. Truth is anything that corresponds with the what? With the model or prototype? With the prototype. Or with the original. No, with the original. With the original, right. Actually, I wrote it this way. Truth is anything that corresponds with the original, prototype, or module. So truth is anything that matches or corresponds with the original, whatever the original is. If it corresponds with it, if it matches with it, that's truth. So, so there are three understandings there. One is the expression, symbol, statement that matches or corresponds with whatsoever we are talking about, with the object or referent. Number two, truth is anything that corresponds with reality of how things ought to be. Number three is truth is anything that matches or corresponds with the original, or with its prototype, or with the module. So this is tough. This is tough here. This is going to make you think. But to make things easier for you, let me now demonstrate for you or exemplify for you what I'm talking about, what truth is. If I say someone is pregnant and you find me somebody who is pregnant, is it possible for you, if I say find me somebody who is pregnant, 6 months pregnant, is it possible to have somebody that is 6 months pregnant or somebody that is pregnant from any background, from any continent, from any color? Is it possible to find that? So pregnancy, therefore, when we talk about pregnancy, if you say you are pregnant, you cannot deceive anybody. 6 months pregnant. If you say you are pregnant, you are pregnant. If you say you are not pregnant, you are not pregnant. You cannot say, okay, pregnancy is because my hands is swollen. So if somebody comes to you and says that my hand is swollen here like this, I'm pregnant. Would that correspond with the truth about pregnancy? Okay, if I say, what about if somebody says, tells you, I am pregnant and I expect the first week and I expect to give birth in 12 years' time. So what does truth say about somebody that is pregnant? When is the person supposed to give birth? Open. When is the person supposed to give birth? To the end. 9 months. In 9 months. Okay, 9 months. Is that just in Europe? What is the truth about when a pregnant woman is supposed to give birth? When is a European lady supposed to give birth if she's pregnant? Huh? In 9 months. But if she's not European, let's say she's African. But she's different. She's different. An African lady is different from a European lady. Susan, can you come? Come. You are Susan, right? Okay, any African lady there? We have two women here. Yes. We have two women. One is African and one is European. So if the two of them are pregnant the same day, when are they both supposed to give birth? 9 months. Why is that coming from? Because that's the truth. What about if another person comes to you and said, no, I've been pregnant for 5 years and I can't give birth? It doesn't correspond, right? It has to be abnormal for that to happen. But it's not the truth. Okay, what about, let's say, the two of them give birth to a child the same day. What does the truth say about when that child will sit down? Well, normally it's 3 months, right? So 3 months, every child is supposed to sit down. But they are poor in Africa. That child shouldn't sit down. What would the truth say about that? It doesn't matter poor or rich. Even if, I've seen a woman that is living in the street and lost her mind, crazy, got pregnant, it's still the same process. And I've seen a billionaire woman, billionaire family, the same process. So it doesn't matter if you are a billionaire and you are in the street of Africa, no home, nothing. It is the same 9 months of pregnancy, the same process of pain, the same time those children are growing. That 3 months, they begin to sit down, then crawl the same time. That is the truth about pregnancy and child. Then when the time comes, the teeth begin to grow at the same time. That is truth. Truth. So when I'm going to be later on giving you characteristics of the truth. What are the factors that will make truth true? How do we recognize the truth? What are the factors that makes truth truth? There are factors why we know that the pregnant woman is the same pregnant woman no matter the color or whatever continent they are coming from. What is the same truth about the child that is growing, is the same thing. Teeth are coming out at the same time. Same time they begin to kind of walk. Then they begin to grow. What is that? That is truth that has been established by somebody that is superior to us. So your social status does not matter. Your material financial status does not matter. If you are a human being, that is the truth. Now, I gave you 3 definitions about truth. The first definition is an expression, symbol or statement that matches. Truth is when it matches with the object, with the thing we are referring to. If you say pregnancy, somebody cannot come with a hunch, or what do you call it, a hunchback on the back and say that's pregnancy. It's not. It's universal truth. Truth is truth. Somebody cannot come with a swollen leg or swollen arm and say I'm pregnant. You know he's not pregnant. That is not pregnancy you are talking about. Somebody cannot come with a flat stomach, absolutely flat, 9 months and say I'm ready to give birth and there is nothing inside. And said I'm giving birth by faith. That will not be truth. It's like one lady who came to me in my church. In fact, there have been several of them who said, I know I'm pregnant. I said, where's your husband? I don't have a husband. And it means you have been fornicating or adultery. She said, no, she had never slept with anybody. So what's the problem? You are pregnant? I said, yeah. She said, and I assure you I will be delivering in 9 months. I said, I said, let's go to the doctor very fast. We went to the doctor. The doctor said he's not pregnant. Nothing is there. Kaput. And she said, no, Jesus appeared to me or revelation angels appeared to me that I will be pregnant. That I'm already pregnant. That even when I'm not having my periods, it's there. I can feel it. And the people are saying, and she's saying he's moving. There is he's kicking. The baby is kicking. So when 9 months came, I called her up. I said, when is the delivery? She said, well, next week. Okay. Then when 12 months came, I called back. I said, how old is your child? She said, Pastor, I want to repent. I said, what happened? She said, I went to the doctor to give back and they said it was not pregnancy. Yeah, so people are being over spiritual. You don't need to pray to God or get revelation. Truth is truth. So truth has to correspond with whatever terminology or whatever thing we are referring to. Okay, let's look at other reality. Truth must correspond to reality, to the way things are supposed to be. Truth must match. Let me look at other examples. For example, the truth is, no matter who you are on the surface of the earth, I didn't know this truth before, you cannot escape problems. As a matter of fact, when I was in the university, and I had just been born again, and I was a Word of Faith charismatic, Kenneth Hagin, Colin Copeland, and all the Kenneths that you can find in this world. I read all their books. And all the faith people, word faith, hallelujah. And that's what they were standing for those days is, if you are really born again, now you have escaped problems, no more problems. If you are born again, finish. You are only supposed to live a victorious life. Yes, because he brought life in abundance. You shall have life and have it in abundance. So now that you are born again, you will never be sick. In fact, if you are sick, you are the problem. It means you don't have faith. And if you have problems, go and listen and confess very well. You must confess or stand on the word. You shouldn't be having problems. Are you not in Christ? He that is in Christ is a new creature. Hallelujah. So those kind of people. So my professor of philosophy was telling me life is in black and white. I said, that is philosophy. That's not according to the word of God. Yes, I was there to quote the word of God. But you see, there are some universal truths that are already established by God himself. So if I say problems, adversity, crisis, there are Christians who will be saying, never. No, what did they say? Oh, God forbid. Oh, I reject it. Hey, hallelujah. No way. In Jesus' name, it will never, your word will never come to pass. So when I began to, even recently, last year I was teaching about adversities, problems, challenges, that everybody will have crises, problems, adversities. People are saying, no, don't confess negative for me. It's not going to happen in my life. I don't know of any other person. But for me, no way. I'm in Christ Jesus. I'm a new creation. You know what religion has done to people? So they are quoting scriptures left and right that are not even right. But these are truth. The reality of problem, it is universal. You believe, you don't believe, you don't even have to believe. You don't even have to believe. Nobody is asking for your permission. Nobody is asking for your belief even. So all those people, but I will tell you that in my own continent, what's your name? Gozi? Rosine. Gozine, you are really enjoying yourself. You like this topic? In my country right now and in my continent, churches are making big business on something that is not true. Telling people and selling to people that once they come to their church, nobody will be sick in this church this year. Have you never had that kind of thing before? Me, I've had though. With my own koro here like this. Pastors who are educated, who are in their right senses, are actually going on stage before the world going on stage on their pulpit and saying nobody will be sick in this church this year, and there are 500,000 people sitting down. Nobody will say that will be sick. In the whole year, nobody will be sick. And everybody will say, Amen. I receive it, eh? Okay. Or they could come to the church and say, nobody will die. In a church where there are thousands. This year we are covenant. We are entering into covenant. We are this and this. Nobody will die. We will not bury anybody. Because the Bible has said, nobody shall bury their young or something. No family member will die. So who family member should die then? Until you begin to hear news about the man himself who proclaimed that either the wife is sick or the son is or he himself is being taken to rehabilitation, to emergency. Then they are hiding this. Don't tell anybody so that you don't do evil confession. You know, there is the reality. You see, the truth must match reality of life. So if anybody, and people are still going back to this church. Okay, or for example, somebody will come, a pastor will come to the church and say, today, all your problems are solved in Jesus' name. And Africans will say, amen. I decree, finish. It is not all your problems are solved. Okay. So why should you, when you wait the whole week, it's not even today, will you even give him a benefit of a doubt for a whole week? And you are still coming back there the next Sunday. And the problem is still coming back. Why don't you use your head? You don't need to come back again because he has said he will not have problem again. He said he has decreed it. So that now the problem is still there. Why should I still come back? But people are just saying, I didn't work last week, it will work this week. Because it's not the truth. There is no way a human being will come to you and say he has declared all your problems resolved. Why you have not gone to be diligent yourself? You didn't go to work. You don't have resources or money or anything like that, and you are saying your problem will be resolved. How? When you have not been taught to go to work. You are feeding wrongly. You are eating all the wrong stuff. And you are sick. And somebody is coming and say, I declare that you will never be sick. Now you are doing exactly what you need to do to be sick. Eating wrongly. Doing everything to be sick every day on daily basis. Nobody is telling you to change your lifestyle. And it's just because I am the one who came. And because I've spoken, I said something that you shouldn't be sickness again. Even though you are doing something that qualifies you for sickness every day. That's just rubbish. He said, there shall be no one sick among you. Okay. So these are the orders of life. Orders of life, problems, challenges, sickness. That is just the part of human nature, fallen nature. These things are going to be around till we all die. I used to read some books those days. They would say, okay, it's one thing for you to be healed. You could be healed, but you could also walk in health. Okay? You could walk in health. So how many people have been able to walk in health? What that means you shouldn't. So what about if your tooth gets sick? That is not walking in. Then you begin to do research. All of them, all their relatives are in hospital. Or they've been there one way or the other. So it doesn't work for them. How will it work for you? Just to sell books. Because nobody wants to be sick. So what I'm saying is that if it is truth, you will not have an issue or an occasion to even say somebody got sick. If it is the truth, then nobody will be sick. If it is the truth, then nobody will have problem. Or at least they themselves that are professing it. Or, there is recently a film that came out. They call it a book too. They call it Secret. They just think it. And anything you desire, and just pronounce it and say it, it will come to you. Okay. Okay, why don't you desire my house? Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's find out if it's going to come to you or not. Okay? Let's find out. Or desire. Let all Nigerians just desire that their country will become America. You are not building bridges, not building roads, not building industry, not building anything. You are just desire in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. We decree. We visualize. We prophesy. Truth should correspond with the way things are supposed to be. And the truth is, you know what? If you want your country to be like America, go work and wait for another 200 years. So things that don't correspond. And there are people in churches who fall for these things. And they will call it faith. But the Bible says, add to your faith knowledge and add to your knowledge virtue. Common sense. Add common sense to your faith. It's not just blind faith. So truth will always correspond with reality. I mean, recently, this one is really crazy. You will not believe it though. Especially you coming from Finland. You will totally not believe it. Yeah, and even if you will not believe it. I think most people will not believe it, but I will tell you what we are now saying. There's a new fad in Nigerian Christianity now. And when I heard that certain men of God, of the highest caliber in Nigeria, are actually practicing this, it just blew my mind. People will tell you, for you to come up to church with your offering, you have to sow some seed. I don't remember the name now. But you have to sow some money, bring some money to them. You have to bring real cash to them, right? And then they say when you get home, your account number will be credited. Or you just go to your closet and real physical money will be in your closet waiting for you. Maybe somebody has heard this before. Nobody ever heard this before? But it has started in Africa. So people are going to churches so that their bank accounts will be credited without them going to work. It's not corresponding with the truth. And they're saying the bank account should be credited will be credited supernaturally. They are saying this is miracle that they have now attained that height. What are you talking about? Who is going to bring it there? He said, it's miracle, everything is possible for God. And some people are flooding those meetings. They are flooding those meetings like crazy. And they have like 20 people always in every service to come forward to say, oh yes, it happened to me. I came back home, the money was waiting for me there. So because of those testimonies, all that gullible people but anything like that is not universally true, something like that you cannot, is not in correspondence with reality, you just know that it's fake. Because even when God does a miracle, you know that it's a miracle. But that kind of miracle is fraud. Because if God is going to be bringing money like that to your account, to your house, to your closet, you are creating inflation. Yes. God is not going to collapse the whole system just because just because one man of God said something. Besides that, the amount of money printed in every country is numbered. So what number will your own carry? Yeah. So which number will your own carry? And because all those things that are numbered, they're already in hands. So who will God go and rob? Who will God go and rob? God will go and rob a bank? He's against his nature. Those numbers are already in somebody's hands, in somebody's businesses, in somebody's business account. So whose number would that be? Or God will just come and add other numbers to the limit. He will be committing crime. So some people are so gullible. This thing is not true. I don't care. Oh, pastor, it has happened. But we have already said that because something has happened or it has worked does not mean it's true. I don't care how it works. It's just like somebody in your country who says it's a prophet who went and said, I'm going to take the picture of your wife who is at home. And then you didn't know that there's a camera at the back. Then he went to the photo and the gallery and got the picture out of there. And he said, yes, I got it from the Spirit. Holy Spirit took me to that house. He didn't know that somebody was shooting from the side, from the back. He was hiding the camera from the main, was hiding the iPad from the main camera. Just fake, guys. Scam. Scam, guys. And African gullible people just believe all kind of rubbish like this. And that's why I'm preaching the truth. So when you come to church and the pastor tells you that before the end of this year you become a millionaire, you did it. What did you do for it? It's not true. Hey. If you had signed a contract, or you have some business expectations, or you have worked for it, or then we could say yes. It's corresponding to the truth. It's not because it's logic. People are telling me, Pastor Sunday Adelaja is no more preaching the faith. He's just preaching logic. No, this is what God has put in place. Oh, that if you don't work, you don't eat. Without working, nothing. In fact, even God himself, in Genesis chapter 2, he refused to let all the crops and herbs grow until there is a man to till it. Even God himself will not do that kind of miracle. God was capable of doing the miracle, bringing products and fruits and herbs and everything to come out. He had the power to do it. But he stopped himself because he's against his nature. His nature is the whole law of the universe that he has created. Even God will not do that. Until there is a man to till the ground and take care of it afterward. And he will not even do that until the rain comes. Until rain started coming to, irrigate the land. So it's not about I don't have faith. They are making me to look like an unbeliever. But I'm just telling you, we need to use our mind. We need to use our mind. So, okay, does that mean God doesn't do miracles? God can't do it. God can do anything he wants. But God is very logic. God is not just irrational. So when you go to another church, then they said, anybody that is stopping you from progressing will not see next year, will not see next month. They say that all the time, or we will die, we should cancel them, you should kill them, or do that. That is not according to the truth. The truth is that, maybe it's not anybody that is even behind whatever is happening to you. Maybe you have not obeyed some laws. Yeah, maybe it's your indolence. Maybe you've not worked enough. And if you want to be killing everybody that way, nobody will remain in that country. Everybody would have died. And why do you need to pray for it every Monday, every Sunday? I thought you killed them last Sunday. Why should they always keep on coming back? So there's so much ignorance going on in the churches today. So much ignorance going on is scary. So truth is, anything that is truth must correspond with reality. It must match with the way things are supposed to be. That is why when people come and say, I am born again, that is not the truth. The only thing that makes people to believe that is because they are, first of all, set up in the society the theory of relativism. that the truth is relative. So only because they have convinced everybody that there's no more truth and truth is subjective, that is only the only reason why they could now come and push that agenda that, I was born that way. It's against the order of nature. Every one of us has inclination to sin. I myself have inclination to sin because we have flesh. So your own sin could be homosexuality, my own sin could be idolatry. Or it might be smoking or drinking. It might be eating, gluttony or something, whatever. Yeah, gluttony. So it might be anything. But the fact that, so why should you make your own official and say, why we are all fighting our own? So I have to be fighting my own adultery, so that I will not look at the other woman. But you say just official, make our own. Even though I don't look at other women, I look at man. Let's just legalize it. Why we keep on fighting against not smoking, not drinking? It's not also fair to us too. We could also start another campaign that is not fair to us. So all of us have the tendency to want to sin, to be tempted, and to have inclination. So you say, I had this inclination since I was small. Oh yeah, I also had inclination to steal. I had inclination to steal since I was small. I tell you that one. But I didn't legalize it as I'm a thief. Yeah, I was born that way. I was born that way, so don't question me. I will tell you another inclination that I had from as early as I could remember myself. I had the inclination to lie why don't we just legalize lying? Let's just legalize lying and say because I had the inclination. And I will not be the only one in town like that. We will be many. We will even be more than you gay people. The movement of the liars. We will be majority everywhere. But it does not correspond with the way things are supposed to be. It does not correspond with the way things are ought to be. Just like gay too. You have inclination. I just told you of my own inclinations. Why are we not legalizing every inclination? So it's a lie. So that's why, because we are not emphasizing truth. People don't talk about truth anymore. Even in churches, people don't talk. I see pastors come and do things. Okay, for example, somebody comes with a theory and say, I was preaching in Nigeria. And this pastor came to me after my message because I said, how could you be having all this wealth? And said, and see so much poverty all around you. So because there is a theory that says, I am so blessed with all these riches because I am serving God. So God is making a difference between me and the people who don't serve God. And so I am opulently rich, while every other person is dying out of hunger and poverty. And I said, I have the right to bypass all these people because they don't want to serve God. Because I am serving God, that's why God is blessing me. So I am justified to neglect the poor, to neglect the destitute, to neglect the needy. And me, God is blessing me. That doesn't match with the truth. And then we are building cathedrals and churches and say this is a sign that God himself is with us. But whereas in the very opposite street, people are dying, people are, every day, people, And we are saying, yes, it's their problem. It's not. That gospel cannot be truth. So that is against the order of things, of how things ought to be. It is not truth. So just by preaching truth, if you know truth, you will be able to tell where lies are. It doesn't matter what doctrine they have preached to you or what lies they have told you. They use Bible verses to justify it, but it is not the truth. And you know what? Soon they will be having to hire security and build a huge hall because they are running away. They are running away from armed robbers. Because that thing they are doing, it will be exposed. It is going to work against them. Because if you don't take care of the needy around you, you will not have life too. They don't have life, soon you too will not have life. That's the truth. The truth is, if you are truly blessed, you will be a blessing. That is the truth. The truth is, if you are truly blessed, you will never close your eyes to the needy. The truth is, if your gospel is true, you will feed me when I was hungry. You will clothe me while I was naked. Me when I'm destitute, in prison, or helpless in the hospital. If you are not doing that and you say, is God blessing you? Remove God from that thing. That's not my God. Not my God. Not my God. That is not my God. Not in my kingdom. This is not the message of my kingdom. So what is truth? Finally, number 3, truth is anything that corresponds. Oh, you ladies, are you still there? Is the truth you are still there? Yes. Well, let the truth set you free. And the truth shall set you free. Now you are set free. So the third aspect of this truth is that truth is anything that corresponds with the original, with the prototype, and with the module. What does that mean? For me, this is the definition of truth as I personally have discovered it. This is my own definition of truth, just by knowing God. Truth is anything that corresponds to the nature of God or to the creation of God. Because He is the original. And everything that He made is the original. So for anything to function on the earth, it must correspond with some original thing that God has made. For example, I need to get another person for an example this time. Anybody wants to come here as a volunteer? Yeah, please. Handsome, tall, young man. Huh? Yeah. The dream of any lady. Sister's dream. Now, let's look for the truth here. So, what is the original? Why? The only reason our whole world works is because it's built on the truth. And I want to prove that to you today. Truth is anything that agrees, that matches, that corresponds with the prototype, module, and the original. And we, ourselves, we are true. We are man. This is a human being. You know why? Because he's made in the image and likeness of. Why are you not calling him an animal? A dog. a goat, a giraffe, a donkey, because he has a different image. That title giraffe doesn't correspond with his image. That title donkey doesn't correspond with his image. That title, dog doesn't correspond with his image. His image is reflecting another person. He's a human being. And he said, let us create man, human being, in our own image and likeness. That's why he cannot be donkey. Because he has another image. That's the truth. Now, today is 10 o'clock at night in Ukraine. It's at night. It's night in Ukraine. Then, in 10 hours' time, it will be morning in Ukraine. How many of you agrees that in 10 hours' time will be in the morning in Ukraine? Or you don't agree? Your permission is not needed even. That is just the truth. It corresponds with the original, what God has created. Now, let's say you are sick. God forbid, but let's just assume that you are sick. And if a doctor finds solution and cure, let's say you have eye problem. Why are they recommending glasses for people to correct their eyes in Africa, everywhere? Well, or let's say anything. Let's say you have headache, malaria, cold, and they heal you. What is healing? What is cure? What is medical cure? You know what medical cure means? Medical cure is only a proof to the fact that our solution, that our cure we are coming up with, matches with the way that eye was supposed to function. It is when we find out the truth about the functioning of that head or the eye that we find solution. We only discover it. We only discover the truth. And we say we have found the solution. The reason why we are able to create cars, planes, anything that is working is because we discovered at what velocity and speed level things could move. We just discovered the truth about nature and we created a corresponding thing for it. Oh. Medicine has to be based on truth. That's why it works. Transport, plane, engineering, electricity, technology, everything has to be based on truth. It is when we discover the truth, we say, oh, we got light, light has come. If you find somebody, let's say your car breaks down. Your car breaks down and you go and find a mechanic and he couldn't fix it. Then you find one that fixes it. You know why he was able to fix it? He found out the truth about what was wrong and he put it back in the way it's supposed to be. It is only truth that makes life work. Everything is based on truth. It is only when you are able to align and correspond and make things match with the original way they are supposed to be, that is when you are working the truth. That is why homosexuality is a lie. That's why lesbianism is a lie. Because that's not if homosexuality, lesbianism has been true, so why does she have a womb? Why does she have a womb? What is that womb doing there? If two women are supposed to be living. So then that womb will be useless. It's not corresponding with the truth. Oh. If two men are supposed to be living together, and these are two men, why does he have penis and the other one has penis? Where does the two penis enter each other? How? No hole big enough in the penis. Because it's not the truth. The penis can't go into each other. I've not seen that happen. Maybe you want to show me. I'm sorry for that rough, but I think somebody will remember it. I think you will not forget that in a hurry. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That is just for you to know what is not true. It's just not the truth. And for anything to be truth, you must find it corresponding, matching. If it's not matching, corresponding, there is something wrong there. So anytime we come and say we found solution for something, or we discover something, we just discover the truth about how that thing is supposed to function. That's it. We just discover the truth about the original. So everything is based on truth. For example, if you say, well, we want to build our own economy, and because we don't want to work, we'll just print all the money. Nobody, why should we work? Let's just enjoy. What's the problem? It's just money. Is it not money? We just print our own money, Joe. So we begin to print money. And you have money now, like in Zimbabwe, trillion. You get your salary, $10 is 1 trillion. Or 1 billion or something. So $10 is 1 billion, then 1 trillion. But you will not be able to, because you didn't produce, that you will have trillion even, but there will be nothing to buy. You can't lie. You can't lie against the nature. Nature is based on truth. You yourself, you are based on truth. Your system is based on truth. And when they say they cure you or they heal you, it's because they found out the truth about how that body is supposed to function. It's just like saying you are too smart. How can I don't want to sleep. I will not sleep for 1 year. No need. You cannot do that. Why? Because your body will tell you the truth very fast. Because that's not according to the truth. Your body must function according to God's truth and God's order. There is no way you become atheist or agnostic enough to say you deny the truth of how your body is supposed to function. You cannot do anything against the truth only for the truth. There is no one who can do anything against the truth but for the truth. You cannot say, well, I don't believe in God's order, so because of that I refuse to eat anything and I will not drink for the rest of my life. I want my own order. Well, try it. I will come to your funeral. You cannot decree and say you are against it, God's order. Everything is meant for truth. Is built according to the truth. And if you abuse it, if you go against the truth will catch up with you and will punish you for it. You cannot do anything against the truth only for the truth. So, for example, in Africa, we say we have African time. We don't honor time. We don't respect time. We leave I can come to any meeting anytime I want. Oh, come now. But you only have 24 hours in a day. So you come to this meeting 3 hours late. You come to that other meeting 3 hours late. No productivity. And you are living in poverty. Nothing can help. Because if you value time, you will have produced. The person who is valuing time in Europe, if for those 3 hours you came late, has produced enough to feed himself and his family. Why you'll be looking for them to now help you. Cannot operate on African time and prosper. You cannot. It's not the truth. It's not in line with the truth. That's why for any nation to really prosper in Africa, the government have got to start with making everybody honor time, because it's the law of nature. Nobody can you could violate it and prosper. It's just the truth. You cannot violate the truth and enjoy it. You can enjoy it for now, but it will catch up with you. You will still suffer. So truth is when things correspond with the way they are supposed to be, with the way they are meant to be, or with the original intent. So that is why, my brother, as handsome as you are looking now, your life is empty and it's going to be frustrated until you find out what is the original intent God wanted you to fulfill on the earth. It is only when your life rhymes and matches, corresponds with the original intent that God had for you, you are living by the truth. And that's why your life is truth. That's why the joy of the earth, the happiness of the earth, the fullness of life will become your portion. That's why Jesus was trying to tell people and say, you have to first of all align yourself with the truth. What is the truth? Seek first to know the kingdom. Seek first to find out heaven. Seek first the kingdom of God. That is where your truth comes from. That is why the original is. Align yourself with the original. Align yourself with the way things are supposed to be. Align yourself with the prototype. Align yourself with the module. Align yourself with the original of God's thought concerning you. Once you align yourself with the kingdom purpose, and you align yourself with, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, you bring yourself to bring him back, down to the earth, the will of heaven. You align yourself with will of heaven, with whatever God wants to do on the earth from heaven. That is truth. Once you are to align yourself in everything like that to whatever the original wants, and that's how you order your step and your life, you begin to have life in abundance. So people come to me and ask questions. I say, I only have one answer. Everybody even come to me and say, how do you all know all these answers, Pastor? Your messages are different. How are you so wise? In fact, some people are telling me they are looking at you say you have done it too. And many people are writing and say, whenever we see you talking, Pastor Sunday, we are looking at your eyes, we are looking at your head, we are looking at everything. I say, how can this man be talking? Where is he getting all these things from? Is there anything downloading it off to him from somewhere? Does he have a different kind of head or what? What is it in him that I don't have? What is in him? So everybody is examining me. But I have one little secret. I come up from there. My starting point is always, what is heaven doing? What is heaven thinking about this? What will heaven have done? Because that's the original. If you could align yourself with the original of how things are supposed to be, you live in truth. And you live in victory, that is. So this is just what is truth. But you wait. Then I have characteristics of what makes the truth. I will talk about one of them tomorrow. And what I'm going to talk about tomorrow is, for truth to be truth, it must be universal. That's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. For truth to be truth, it must be universal. But today, you got my idea that, okay, for example, Jesus said, because he's a man of truth, and he himself is the truth. You know what he said? He said, if your enemy is hungry, okay, let's say if your enemy slaps you on one cheek, give him the next one. What does that mean? That doesn't mean physical. That means live by the truth. That means in your heart, do good to him. So Paul was explaining that to us later on in Romans and said, if your enemy is hungry, he's your enemy, he wants to kill you, go and feed him. Go and give him what comes to him. That is like giving him the second shake. That's in your heart. In your heart of heart, live to forgive him. Okay, the Bible says, love your enemies. Let's start from there. Love your enemies. What does that mean? That is against our own human nature. But God is saying, love your enemy. You know what that means? That is talking about truth. So what is truth? The truth is whatsoever opinion, statement, or whatever that corresponds with the original intent of how things were supposed to be. God is the original. Is the prototype. Is the module. God knows that the way he has created your nature and my nature is only to love. Nothing should ever make you hate. That's why he says, don't hate, never hate, only love. Nothing should ever make you hate. Nothing. It is against your original nature. It is against the way you were made to operate. You were made and to function. That is the original intent. You were made to function by love. Only when you function by love, you prosper. Only when you function by love, you are healthy. Only when you function by love, you will live in peace. Only when you abide and function by love, your mind works well. Only when you function that way, you prosper on the earth. The functionality, the environment of the earth will work for you, will work in your favor. The forces of heaven, the forces of nature will work on your behalf and for you when you pray always by love. Please, evil enemies, you don't have right not to love them. So that's why I say love only. You should only own love. Never hate. Love but never hate. Why? Because that is your nature. Abide by your nature. It doesn't matter what the enemy is doing against you. You abide by the true nature that God has given you. Live in the truth. Abide in the truth. You are victorious. Even if you die, you are still victorious. That is talking about truth. For example, he says, do good to your enemies and don't let evil overcome evil. Why? Don't overcome evil with evil, but overcome evil with good. God is not foolish. So what does that mean? It means that your nature does not permit it. People offend you, yes. But your nature, if you begin to live that way, if you begin to go into the territory of evil, evil then has the license to overcome you. It is not your nature. Don't go there. Don't go and open door on another man's territory. Abide in your own nature. Live by the original. Live by the truth of your creation. Live by how you are made and created to be. It doesn't matter what anybody is doing. Don't pay attention to what humans are doing. Abide in your own nature. Find out the truth about your nature. Find out the truth about yourself. Abide in that truth. Therein is your victory. So a lot of things people read in the Bible, they don't understand it. And I'm just wondering and just saying, it's like people don't read this Bible. Or they are reading it and they are thinking God just lost his mind by writing that. Or Jesus just made a mistake. Or it's not correct. But it's because he's the only one that knows the truth. So every time Jesus speaks, and anytime you read your Bible, know that Jesus is talking from the position of truth. He knows the true way things are supposed to function on the earth. He knows the true way things are supposed to be. So he's just revealing the true status of how things are supposed to be. If you be able to listen to him and abide by them, you live a superior life than any other human. So many things I would like to talk about. But you know what? I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 topics to talk about under this truth. Not under the general truth, but only what is truth only. What truth is, yes. This is just the first one today. What truth is. Tomorrow, I will say what truth is. That's the general topic. What truth is. Then, for truth to be truth, it must be universal. That is just what truth is. That's what truth is. I see I have 7 of them. After tomorrow, I will have 6 left. What truth is. Just talking what truth is. Today is the introduction, what truth is. Yes. Now you have to all come and you stand. Before you go back, you tell me what you got from today's message. What's happening to you right now?
What's happening to me? Truth is restoring that which is out of order from its original design and putting it back into its original design and function.
Right.
Everything was made according to original prototype in heaven. Therefore, if it's in chaos on earth, my job to walk in truth is to restore it back to its original design, and it has to look parallel to how it is in heaven. So this in families, if there are broken families here on the earth, they are in dysfunction because they're not operating to their original function and design. Therefore, me as somebody who walks in truth and corrects things in truth, I must then go and bring kingdom principles, things like forgiveness, love, kindness, gentleness, back to the family unit, therefore restoring it back to its original design and nature so it can have the same function and results as it would in heaven. What it means to bring heaven on earth. This is our mandate, to bring heaven on earth as Christ did.
But sometimes we Christians, we just focus on that aspect of the spiritual aspect of it. But the Bible also opens our eyes to the wonderful physical things in heaven, like mansions, houses. That's why I get the concept that we are here to build cities. It talks about heavenly Jerusalem, how everything works perfectly. So if I'm supposed to create heaven on earth, if I'm supposed to bring what is in heaven to the earth, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, we are supposed to be interested in building the 21st century cities. Christians are the ones who are supposed to be seeing the future cities, the future towns, the future country. That's why I'm going back to Africa. I am going to create the atmosphere of heaven, reflection of heaven, what the will of God is in heaven. Because it talks about gold, the streets of gold. People just think about, okay, that's just illustrative. That's just when you get to heaven. But he said that you have to be here on earth also. So, yes, it's not just some spiritual stuff. So that means, okay, I got it. We should do quality roads with the best material that will reflect the gold that is in heaven, the gold nature of God. That talks to me also not just about the road, but about the quality of doors that's supposed to be done, not like in my house, about the qualities of electricity, everything that's supposed to be done, about the quality of cars that should be done. Because people who built my house, they don't have the kingdom. They don't understand it. Because they are not reflecting the kingdom of heaven in what they are doing. Then we are supposed to teach people in their work, in their mastery, in their artistry, in their whatever they're doing. They are supposed to, if the diligence in heaven is so high to make road of gold, the level of diligence there, the level of quality there, I should be able to make shears, not just of rubber and plastic. I should be able to think about the level of quality people produce in heaven in that sense. If that quality could be presented over there, then if we really want to be reflection of God, I will challenge you as a Christian. Go read the pictures of heaven in Revelation. All the stones, then that is about the kind of projects we are supposed to be implementing here. That's supposed to be your own standard on how you should build everything, or how you should build your company, or how you should build your ministry, on how you should build your country, on how you should build your cities. All things that are in heaven. For example, the Bible says there will be no tears there. So, okay, and God said, I am supposed to bring heaven here and bring his will that is in heaven here. So my job then is to wipe people's tears. And I saw Jesus doing it. That's why Jesus was always going everywhere and wiping people's tears away. Why? He was doing everything according to the truth that is up there in the original. He was making his life correspond with the original life, with the original of everything. So whenever he sees sorrow, he said, oh, will you allow me to pass by this daughter of Abraham? In heaven, nobody passes by them. It's not the nature of heaven to pass by somebody crying. Oh. He said, who is my neighbor? He said, oh, your neighbor? Anybody that is living in a way that doesn't correspond to heaven, that's your neighbor. So for you now to build a church, and say God has blessed me, so I don't care for all the people crying and dying and weeping and and dying, and it doesn't correspond with the nature of heaven. It's not the heaven that God said I should bring here. That is like bringing hell here. But the heaven that God said I should bring here is the heaven that doesn't pass by anything crying or anybody crying. It's the heaven that wipes away all their tears. He said there will be no sickness in heaven. So what does that tell me? I should deal with every resources available to me. I should deal with sicknesses, fight it, either with medicine. We have to invent medical science. We have to discover cure for people to be relieved of that pain. Because he said there will be no pain. And so since there will be no pain, and it is in heaven, it is my duty right now to work in that area to relieve people's pain, either psychological pain, either physical pain, either medical pain, or any kind of thing. Yeah. That is what living according to truth, according to the original. That is the gospel of the kingdom. Pastor Louis, you take his place. Take the microphone, come talk. And anybody that wishes to come, please come over.
Good evening, everybody. Pastor, thank you so much. This is really an eye-opener.
I thought you had been blessed.
It's been an awesome experience. You know, when Pastor was talking, being a medical doctor, I was just visualizing the magnitude of lie that is operational in the medical field. And what came to mind was, you know, we cannot use medication that is meant to treat headache for cancer. That is a lie. And what will happen is that we will cause casualties, and that is what quack doctors are doing, because they are not practicing the truth. They are doing something that is contrary to the truth, and what we get is devastation in that particular aspect. And again, another thing I thought of was our economy. Pastor said something. He said the basis of every society, or the growth and establishment of every society, must be based on truth. So corruption, to me, is not truth. And that is why our societies cannot be established or built in the way they ought to, because people are corrupt.
They don't live according to the truth.
I was seeing this in this particular aspect, because that means we have to go back and implement truth in every sphere. We should take this not just from the church, but we should try to put this into
now you understand
minds.
Why the gospel doesn't belong in the four walls.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It has not his place. His place in all the earth. That's where truth belongs.
The educational system. We study back home, we get degrees, but we cannot put them to use. It's a lie. Why? Because truth is not being practiced. So it is the basis of every aspect of a society. If we must have a progressive society, then we must be able to start implementing truth. because it's fundamental to everything. That's just the summary of everything I got here. There is so much I could continue talking about this. But
Next person. Please come fast. Quick.
Wow.
What did you get today, Jeff?
Thank you, Dr. Sunday. This is amazing.
Truth is setting Son of Man free.
I'm so excited. This is my week in Ukraine, so I want to just enjoy it. Enjoy the kingdom. I was so blessed by your message on this truth, and as it relates to the love of God, abiding in the love of God, abiding in that love, and not allowing ourselves to open the door to the dominion of darkness. Because sometimes when we're standing for the truth and then we open the door to the dominion of darkness, we enter into a domain that the devil himself has mastered. And we don't know how to play the game of darkness. He is the Lord of darkness. He understands darkness. We are the sons of light. We cannot cohabit together. That is why we must stay in the love of God. No matter what we go through, we abide in the love of God. We don't allow malice. We don't allow hatred of any sort to infiltrate into our spirits. If somebody offend you, you allow the love of God to be the shield. And stay in that love. And as long as we are in that love, we abide in that light. And in the light, there is truth. Hallelujah. And so when he was talking about it, my head was just exploding. I was like, my goodness. And the people that offend you easily the most are those you love the most. People you don't care about don't offend you as much as those you care about the most. The other day, my mom did something that really, really got on my nerves. And I was literally stepping into the domain of darkness because it just welled up something in me I didn't know was there. All of a sudden, it just came back to me. I said, no, I cannot allow this to linger because, I got so mad at her. I said, I'm not calling her anymore. She really upset me. But the minute I said that, the Holy Spirit said to me, you cannot abide in malice. Yes. You cannot abide in hate. You cannot abide in anger. All of a sudden, I just took up the phone and I called her. She was shocked. Oh, we just got through arguing. Now you're calling me. I just called her. I said, I love you. I did. And she was like, wait. What's going on? And she didn't know what I was trying to do. I was saving myself and I was also saving her. So she does not stay in that domain. Because in that domain is the domain of darkness, the domain of sickness, the domain of evil, the domain of disease. That's death. That is where it reigns supreme. I had to stay in the love. I had to reign her back in love. I had to take my stand in love. And I had to defend ourselves in truth so that light will continue to shine. And this is why so many Christians are missing it, because they abide in hate. You cannot say you love God and walk in hate. The two natures don't mix together. That is not the nature of God. That is not the nature you receive from God. You cannot be offended either. When offense comes, flush it with love. Flush it out with the love of God. Flush it out. It's junk. It cannot stay in your spirit, because when offense and hate and all this anger stays, then you stop hearing from God. I keep saying it. I said the number one way to hear from God is to stay in the love of God. Because when you stay in the love of God, your ears are open. He will talk to you so easily. You're struggling to hear from God. Flush out the debris of hate. You cannot hate a sinner. You cannot even hate the devil.
Yes.
Oh! You cannot hate the devil because you don't have the hate in you. So what hate would you use against the devil? You're not using the hate against him. You're using the principle of truth against the devil. But you have to stay in the love of God. You have to be grounded in the love of God. You have to be established in the love of God and refuse to give way to the devil. Because when you open that door, when Dr. Sunday was saying open, I was screaming. I'm like, look at this door. He's just talking about that door. Nobody should open that door. Yes. Because as much as we stay in love, we kick him out. He's confused in the light. He does not abide in the light. Now, the thing is, he's trying to bring the fight to his own domain. Because the minute you walk in hate, he has brought the fight to his own level, where he knows how to play the game. But when you bring the fight back in the love of God, he doesn't know how to play that game. He's powerless. That's how egos fight. They take the fight to their own level. You pick the devil up and go to the sky. And you go from, because he that is from above is above all things.
That's right.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yes, there's just so much here, just so much. But something was striking to me. There was a sentence, and I hope I got it right, that you had mentioned. You said, if you know the truth, you will be able to know the lie. And going through all these series about truth is so rewarding because it's going to open up our eyes to lies that we didn't even realize. We just say, oh, it's just a saying, you know, it's just something that just happened. But we really didn't understand that it's actually a lie, it's misleading. And we, the children of truth, we are misleading people not knowing because we didn't know it was a lie. So all these teachings that we're having about the truth is really, really going to help us. But I want to give you an illustration about if you know the truth, you will know a lie. My mom, blessed memories, she worked with Mint in London in the 1960s. And she used to tell me all kinds of stories. But one of the stories she told me, and I don't know if they still practice it today, but in Mint, what they do is they train the workers with money, but the only money they ever really train them with is the real thing. So therefore, they have been so trained in what the real notes are that when a fake note shows up, they know it immediately. And I feel like as children of God, when we get the chance to really know the truth, when anything, the slightest lie passes our ears or even us, we can detect it and deal with it. So I'm very, very excited about this series. It's a blessing. Thank you.
Another person willing to share what they got? Want to share what you got?
Okay, what really hit me was how truth has to correspond with some object of reality. And because where I come from in South Africa, there's so many people preaching a different type of gospel, almost taking the scripture that says that we are not under law out of context to mean that we are under grace. So the laws of nature, the laws of the principles of life should not apply to us as Christians. So you find people doing things, I don't know if many people have watched on YouTube, people drinking petrol because they say that you shall drink, and then you shall drink poison, and they do it deliberately, and people eating rats, as an example. And people are falling for it because they are believing that, we are above the law because we are Christians. We are in a different realm, so we don't have to abide by the laws of nature. And this is very liberating because then, in a sense, that we know that, if something does not correspond with reality, it's not going to happen. Like, I know that I won't have, unless I start a business and getting clients, I'm not going to be a millionaire. No matter how much I can shout it, jump it, pray it, fast it, it's not going to happen. I have to go and work because it's the hand of the diligent that will rule. So this has really been freeing and very revolutionary for me. Thank you.
Queen Ojimadu.
Yeah, hello everyone. What really got me was when Pastor was talking about we shifting into the territory of the devil by hating. And now I understand where all our sicknesses are coming from. When they medically they prove that cancer comes from stress, from unforgiveness, now we know why. Because, ulcer and whatever, because we move into the territory of the devil by unforgiveness, by just not letting it go. And the way he explained it, that it is not our nature. The original nature is a cancer-free body. The original nature is an ulcer-free body. But we decided to take in this hatred to poison ourselves. So it has nothing to do with the original. So if we get the depth of this thing, most of us today won't even be sick, you know. Even the way we eat, the way we used to eat, right? Pastor explained too. We put all kinds of things in our body, and we are praying, we've seen that video, right? We are praying that the food will turn to, all the calories in the food should die, you know. So we are the ones that kill ourselves by not standing on the truth, by not living the love that is our nature, you know. Like, Pastor always says that when people see him, they should see God. They don't need to even look for God. People like me used to say, this our DSSF, you know. But now we understand where he's coming from. He's coming from above, and that's where all of us claim to come from. I'm sitting, at the right hand of God with the Father. We just quote it, but we don't really know what it means, okay? So let's now just be ourselves, and being ourselves is just being in love and working in love, right?
Talk about it yourself. Talk about it right now.
Okay.
She's launching a book this week.
Yeah, I know most of you have seen the book because, we have written it for some time, but eventually we are launching it tomorrow. And we give a free, not a free, discount price, 50% discount price for anybody that gets it before tomorrow. So, just type Nkiro Jimadu on Amazon. Basically,
the name of the book also.
500 plus questions you must ask before you get married. Before marriage. 500 questions you must ask before marriage. Okay? So this book is not just only for those that are not married. Even if you're married, believe me, there was an incident that happened recently in my marriage, being 14 years in marriage, that I thought I have, yeah, I have seen it all, but you never see it all. That is why now I understand why people will be 30 years in marriage, because they've not trained their mind, because they've not asked some questions, because they are not ready to tackle some questions. They see themselves divorcing. I've been wondering. But this book will allow you to ask questions to make you beautify your marriage. And if you haven't been into it, to make you know the issues you might expect, even if you don't have the answers, at least you will know he told me. He told me that he used to snore. He told me that his leg smells, so you knew it before you go in. So you ask all those questions, simple, funny questions and very serious questions, okay? So get
500 of them.
Yeah, 500 plus, it's more than 500. 500 plus questions you must ask before marriage. Whether single or you are someone that is a marriage expert, you also need it, to know what to ask your clients. So I urge all of you that is watching online, get the offer before it expires tomorrow, okay? Thank you.
Before tomorrow or before the end of tomorrow?
Before the end of tomorrow.
Before 12 our time.
Yeah, before 12 our time, the price is $4.99, but it will go up, okay? But someone asked me if I could do it for one more day, right? But the launching is tomorrow. But next tomorrow, the price will still be $4.99. But after that, it will be $9.99. So hurry.
No book like that in the world. I can guarantee you. That will give you 500 questions to get ready for marriage. Kudos for writing that book.
What I really feel from this presentation today, from this teaching, is that, I need to come back and listen it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
Beautiful.
Because it's really,
beautiful.
It's
Yes,
really, really
we all
profound.
need to listen to it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Yes, it's too profound and too complex. Because, yeah, because usually people tend to have their own truth, right? And they get really attached to those and they defend that.
Yes.
Even they give their life
That's true.
because of those truths that are not the truth. Jesus is the truth. And today I think I understood better what Jesus meant when he said, truth will set you free. And after that, when Pastor Sonny said, well, God created us to love only, not to hate, not to do other stuff. So I think that doing the right thing, living by God's truth.
Is it a fresh understanding of truth, right?
Yes, it is. It is. It is. So
I think the whole world needs to know this.
mhm. Exactly, that's right.
Because people don't know. Even Christians, they only quote, you shall know the truth shall set you free. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. But that's it. That's the only thing people know.
Exactly.
They need to know how it applies, how it works.
Exactly, how to apply it. Because everyone has their own understanding.
Yeah,
And there is just one understanding that becomes from Jesus, right?
yeah.
Wow. That's proud.
Any other person would like to say something? Yep. Topsy, one of the most brilliant girl in town. Huh? What?
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. It was quite inspiring. Really, while you were talking, I got some points, but it's really very deep. Like he said, we really had to go back to digest these truths. Okay, one of the points I got was that truth is in line with the purpose why we're here on earth. Take it out from anybody's life, it is not truth. You are living in shadow. You're living another man's life, you're wasting your time. And whether you like it or not, you're soon
They
going
say
to
you should speak louder.
you're soon going to give account of your life and actually what you did here on earth. So if you ever did anything that has nothing to do with your
Original.
purpose, you just wasted your time. You just wasted your resources.
And
So
your life.
truth and your life. So truth is in line with the purpose why you're here on earth. And I was thinking while I was sitting there, I was asking myself, I said to myself, okay, maybe some persons will wake up tomorrow and say, I don't like the way my face is. I don't think the eye should be here. I think the eye should be here. And I think the nose should be this way. And by the time you rearrange your face, you're going to look horrible.
It's not in line with the truth.
It's not in line with the truth. So is it that you look horrible, nobody can behold your face, or you even die? So you see, it has nothing to do with the truth. So the way you are, the way you're designed in the nature of God is the truth. So if somebody say you're tall, you are in a perfect shape because it's in line with the truth. That is how God made you, and that's how you're supposed to be proud of who you are. So thank you so much, guys. This is what I got.
Well said. Well said. Queen Anastasia, it means this topic has really touched her because she doesn't speak immediately out. She speaks only after thinking through. She's a thinker. So she must process everything very well. But it means something special is coming.
Good evening, kings and queens. Tonight is just phenomenal. Now, all of you know that I am very passionate about Daddy God. And tonight, I'm seeing him in a very special way. Do you know what it's like? It is like somebody who has been in darkness, taken by the hand, and says, let me take you to the kingdom. We'll talk about Christian, you're not talking about an unbeliever. So you're being taken by the hand and introduced to the kingdom. And so you're walking with Daddy God and see then you're going, wow. 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 So it's wave after wave after wave after wave of truth. And so formerly where you have known truth to be upside down, now you're seeing truth right side up. Because we're familiar with truth as upside down. It is the norm. But now your eyes are being opened to truth which is up, right side up. And you realize that every fiber of creation, every fiber of our life,
say it louder.
Every fiber of our life is truth, whether it be your body, whether it be an organization, whether it be creation, whether it be family. Every part of society is all to do with truth. And you know what? I think for me, the most important lesson I'm learning tonight is that truth is so beautiful. Truth. Okay. Yeah. Truth is so beautiful. You know, you don't realize you don't realize how the truth that we think we've been taught, which is religion, that we hate so much but we don't voice out until you encounter the truth and you realize that truth is so pure. God is so, I mean, listen to what the Sunday taught tonight. Everything about God is so pure. Yes. The way our bodies are designed is so pure. Yes. Medicine to correct things in our body is so pure. Yes. That is His love. Why would God give somebody a desire to be a doctor, to create something that is out of alignment? Why would He do that?
It's not possible.
That is truth. That is the truth of God coming in the form of love. So for me, I am seeing truth in its purity, and I've never seen it that way because of religion. Because of religion. And truth to me has always been, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt do this. Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not smoke,
Thank you for giving
thou
the
shalt not
example.
gossip, thou shalt not wear short dresses, thou shalt not expose your hands, thou shalt not do makeup, thou shalt not drink, thou shalt not smoke. That is what truth, that is the truth.
Are you serious?
Yes, that is the truth that is painted for us. It may not be said in so many words, but that is this. Thou shalt not expose your breast. Thou shalt not do this.
Wow.
Thou shalt not talk to this because he's married. Thou shalt sit here. Thou shalt, it's all about it. But today,
doesn't have anything.
It has got nothing to do with it. But this is like, and I'm not talking about unbelievers. This is like, Daddy God Himself taking you by the hand and say, let me show you what the kingdom of God is like. Let me show you this is what. And so you're walking with side by side and you're going, wow. Because you've never seen it before. You never heard it before. And so what happens is that you are attracted to the truth. You want to know the truth. You want to walk in the truth. Now, having, for example, forgiveness. When I hear that, when I'm walking in unforgiveness, that is so much out of alignment because my whole fiber and my whole being has been wired for love. I've never heard that before. All I'm told is that, look, you better forgive because if you don't forgive, God is not going to forgive you.
I see.
That's what you're taught. But to understand that
it's because of the truth.
Because of
God Himself. The original. Who is the original? God. What does He do when He offended Him? What does He do?
He forgives.
That's the original.
That's the original.
And that is so I walk in truth when I align myself with the attitude, with the way the original is.
And because the original is so beautiful to look at, don't forget that. Truth is so beautiful. Truth is pure. Truth corrects, what do you call it? All the, I'm not a doctor with the eyes, all the imperfections of that. Truth allows you to see things as the original. So, for a long time, we see with distortions, with so much distortion. I think even unbelievers see better than us. Yes. I think unbelievers see better than us, than us.
Because there are no distortions.
Because they don't. But for us, so these teachers, what he's doing, that's why, most of the time, I don't come out and comment because I'm sitting down and I'm processing everything, every word that is being said. But truth is so pure, is so beautiful. You begin to see God, the kingdom in its purity, and you really want to be like Daddy. If this who daddy is, then I want to be like him. You know, so all these things are going on inside of you. I don't want to be I don't want to be this old person. I want to aspire. I truly want to aspire to be like my daddy. Now, this time it's not a matter of you must be, you should be, you ought to be. But it's what that
my
I
own
want
desire.
to be. I want to be. Daddy God,
It's
help
my
me to be.
desire
My
now.
desire. Help me. That's the difference. That's what
I'm coming back to my nature.
original nature.
It is when I align myself with the truth of who he is, I gain myself. My lost self is restored.
It's just amazing. It is just amazing. Just think about all of us here. We've all got different personalities. Now, how many of us really live according to the original intent of Daddy God? How many of us live according to original intent? Many of us are doing carbon copies. We're copying other people. But how would it be that you get to know Daddy God's heart? How he wired you. How he wired you so uniquely. When you spend time with him and he points out, like Anastasia, do you know why you're like this? Do you know why I made your hair like this? Do you know why I gave you this shape? And you confidently walking in the image
Satisfied
and the
with your
reflection of Daddy God.
with yourself.
So that you reflect a side of him. You reflect a side of him. So people get to see a side of God. Because, Daddy God is multifaceted. So he needs to express himself so that everybody can have a taste of him. So I've got a bit of Daddy. You've got a bit of Daddy. Every one of us has got a bit of Daddy. And we all need to project the truth of him, that side of him, so that the people can fall in love with him. They get to know him. But what are we doing? We're doing this carbon copy.
That is why you cannot love God without loving people. Because all the billions of people that you are seeing on the earth, they are like cells. All of us have billions of cells. If the billions of cells in your body are taken, it's still your cell. Even let's take a pin right now or a needle and just punch in your skin. It press one cell, and that's painful because it's still you. Even if one out of that billion, only one cell is affected, you still feel it because that's you. So we are human beings. We are all God cells. And that is why you cannot love God without loving himself. Because what makes God is those cells. Oh. Because even if you say he's an enemy because of what he has done against you, so you will not love him, then you are not loving God. That's why you must even love, as long as a human being, even if it's your enemy, you must love him. Why? He is made according to the image of God. That means the cell of God is in him. If you refuse to love him, you have refused to love. It's like saying you love me, but you don't love my hand. You have denied yourself. You cut yourself off. That's why God said no. Human being, you cannot love God that you don't see. Because it's the God that you see, those people you are saying here.
So for me, again, truth for me is looking at God in the eye, truly in the eye, and agreeing with everything that he said about me, according to the original intent. Before I was formed in my mother's womb, he already knew me. That is the truth. And so, for me, it is looking at him eye to eye, or eyeball to eyeball, and agreeing with every fiber of my being, everything he said about me. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunday, for this revolutionary truth.
One question for you, and for anyone, all of you. Try to go back to what we have done so far. Let your mind go back to the levels of truth. I think that was good enough. Then let your mind go back to the force and power of the truth. Then let your mind go back to why does the truth matter? Then let your mind go back to why the truth is so important. Then let your mind go back to what truth is not. what is not truth, what truth is not. Let your mind go back to those points. What works, all those things. And now, so I've spoken about what truth is not. And now I'm talking about truth itself. But the way people are reacting as if now we are just getting there. It's now we just got there. You are responding as if what truth is itself is the main meat. It's like those other ones were just, am I getting it right? Because just judging from your response.
Yes, because, okay, sometimes.
Go ahead and stop.
I was going to say because it's a journey and it's way.
Or it's opening more and more, or what?
Yes, and then it's removing all the lies and everything. It's making you to see more clearly. That's what it's like. That's why I said it's like somebody who's taking you from the darkness with dirty gloves.
So if you try to connect and see through everything we have been going through, how is that whole journey looking like to you? Is it looking like a process going on in your mind, in you, or what is happening?
For me, it's like I've had cataract in my eyes and they're being removed. That's it in simple terms.
Okay, why your husband is coming? Let us meanwhile. He's coming meanwhile. So and she's already here.
I was just going to say, according to your question, what made this so important, I think the reaction that we're getting is because we all believed, well, I'll speak for myself, that I believed that I knew what the truth is. And your explanation today just debunked everything that I thought it was the truth, to show me exactly what what truth is. So, whereas previously what you've been explaining, they were all new information. So I wasn't worried because I'm gaining new information. But what makes this one more important is because I thought I had this information, but all I had was the lies, really. And this makes sense. It even made more sense than my years of being told that this is truth. This is what truth is. Like Queen Anastasia said, she explained all the things that we've been told as Christian in a religious setting, that this is this, there were do's and don'ts. And those do's and don'ts were the truth for us, rather than what you've just explained now. That is our true nature, is our original. So all this explanation makes it really, how am I even going to start again? Where am I going to start from? Because all the truth that I have believed, they haven't been the truth. They've all been lies. So, I don't know how many times I would have to watch this for me to be the real person that I am supposed to be in the true nature, the original that I'm supposed to be aligned with how the original is. I really don't know, but for me, I think that's the reason that reaction is here, because I'm still sitting here thinking, okay, am I even for real? Because if I believed everything, maybe I'm not even real right here now. Maybe I need to, maybe there's something different, maybe this person here is not real.
Because what we are saying is not real. You are going to be for real when you align with the original.
Yes.
That is when you discover your true self. What you are right now is a potential. You to discover it. You are nature. You are part of God. You are God's nature. But until it doesn't come alive for you until you align. Then you begin to walk in that truth.
Yes, and I know somebody have been.
You see, why are people afraid of demons and things like that? They don't align with the truth.
Yes, and I think also the old world doesn't align with the truth. Everything in the world doesn't align with the truth. So where do I even start?
Where you start is simple. It's discovering the original. You don't look at the old world. That is the mistake we're all making. Look at people who have been able to align themselves with the original, who are closest to the original, if you cannot directly do the original yourself. So go through those, and those people that most reflect that original. But your ultimate goal is to be able to see God's picture. How do you see the picture of God? Thank God we have the Bible. Some people didn't have the Bible, but they still saw it. It's through your personal relationship with God. The only direction you should be looking is up. Not around. Okay. When you look around, that's when you get confused.
That's another thing right there. Thank you.
wife said, it's really a And I told myself, God, you're doing it again, but then I'm enjoying it. In that, for one reason, it's when I'm under the shower, God talks to me, So as soon as it started, I said, "Oh, you're doing it again." So this morning, I was telling her, and I also shared it with Brother Jeff, that Pastor Sunday has a way of bringing the scriptures alive, And as I was listening to yesterday's message, all I heard was, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Then I heard another scripture Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." And I said, who is the me? The me is Jesus. And who is Jesus?
The truth.
He's the way, the truth, and the life. So there is a way that leads to God. There's a truth you should know and abide with that leads to God. There's a life you need to live. And I asked myself, I said, we don't know the truth. Because when I had that understanding, I realized that's why a Buddhist can know the way, can know the truth, can know the life. And we are in church thinking we know the truth, and we don't. So it just opened, and I was just saying, Pastor Sunday just has a way of, so don't be so surprised about our reaction. But then it's sort of every day builds on something. It's like a journey. Every day builds, just like God. Every day we see a new side of Him. And every day we are learning a new side of the truth. And as she said, what we knew about the truth was the opposite of the lie. As long as as long as you're not abiding in the lie, you're abiding in the truth. So all you needed to do was make sure you don't abide with the lie. But then you've brought a different, what truth actually is. And I realize, we are good at quoting scriptures, but we don't have a clue what they really mean. So we say thank you again.
So is it a good idea for me to keep on building on it this way? Yes. Is it helping? Those people who have watched all the series on this truth, do you think, yes, it's making more sense with every single day we are going? Then I will have to spend more time on telling you what the truth is then. So that we are not confused. From what you people are saying, it means that I really need to shed the light. Expatiate more to make it really, really simple and really, really easy. By the time I'm through, you all will be experts on the truth. Yeah. That's why God said He doesn't judge anybody. It is the word, which is the truth, that will judge everybody. It is the word that I spoke to you. My word is the truth. That truth is what we judge. Say, I'm the truth. That's it. With anesthesia, she's still having a lot in her mind. Give her the microphone. Let her explain. Let her expatiate further. Help me take the microphone to her. Your spirit is full. You are saying we don't know the truth?
No, we don't. As I said, I was just thinking, 30 years I've been a Christian. What have I...
No, you have to stand because of the camera.
So, for 30 years I've been a Christian. I'm just asking myself, what have I known? Nothing. I've been far away from the truth. For myself and what do you call it, a non-Christian, what is the difference? Oh, yes, I've received Jesus Christ as my Savior, but what really makes the difference if I'm so far away from the truth, so far away, and here you are, you're thinking that because maybe you're charismatic and you speak in tongues and maybe you can quote a little bit of scripture, so you think that, you have, but really, you don't have a clue. Honestly. Just because you can speak in tongues and you can quote scripture back and forth, and maybe you're fasting and you're praying, it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. And many Christians are in that place. They're in that place where they can quote scripture back to forth, front to back and back to front, whatever it's called. And they do very well in fasting and going to church and doing all the religious activities. And I don't know whether you understand, 30 years is a very long time. So what if I hadn't, by Daddy God's mercy, encountered Dr. Sunday Adelaja? What would have happened to me? And here I'm thinking that, just because, I'm serving in departments and I do a little bit of Bible study or teaching or whatever it is, I'm serving, I'm walking in the truth. That's very sad. And then to realize that actually I'm so blind and I can't see. And sometimes it is the unbeliever that sees better than me, And then, to be encountered with the truth so forcefully but yet gently. Forcefully but gently. And to realize that, that your eyes are gradually being opened to the truth. So it seems as if, because this thing is so new, you really have to make an adjustment. I'm not an optician, but I'm trying to use the illustration of somebody who can't see.
That's focus.
Focus, that's the word, focus. And so, you're squinting your eyes because you're so used to this darkness. No, you're not used to the darkness, you think but now you're being introduced to the light, and so you're having to squint your eyes and you're asking yourself, but where have I been all these years? Is this the truth? Really? Is this, is this it? And you can't deny it because it's so pure and it's so beautiful and it's so endearing, and it's as you're encountering this truth, you are being set free. The light, the load that you're carrying is just coming off, and it is when you come face to face with Jesus, who's the truth. Everything begins to fall off you, and trust me, I know the load that I've carried for a long time. And it's like you don't need somebody to prophesy over you. You don't need somebody to be laying their hands on pushing you to the ground. You don't need to be doing those long fasting, and you don't need to be doing somebody shout hallelujah. The greater your amen, the louder or the bigger your breakthrough, or your deliverance. All gymnastics that we've been doing is just encountering the simplicity, but the powerful truth. Where have we been all these years? These are the questions that are going through our mind. Where have I been? And why can't we hear this truth in simplicity? Why can't we share this and set people free? What is going on in Christianity? All these are the many questions that are going through my mind, and also my responsibility, because as I hear this word, I also have a responsibility, to share this. So it's a huge responsibility. The word is very weighty. Like I said, this truth, you have to hear it more than probably 20 times, and you're just barely getting it. You're just barely getting it, and sometimes you think about it, it's just sad that you've been around the block.
Somebody is agreeing with you that is the truth I am familiar with personally. Thou shalt not drink alcohol, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not miss church.
Yes.
But you might not miss church, but you still don't know. But the truth is, find a personal relationship with the original. That is the whole essence, even of church. So if you are going to church and it's not helping you to align and come closer and come into accord with the truth, with the original, with the truth himself, the essence of truth, life himself, the original, the prototype himself. If you are not coming closer to be an alignment with him, you have not done religion. You have missed it. So it is not church going or this and that. It is about proximity of closeness. So whatsoever will bring you to alignment in personal relationship, closeness, that is the truth. That is that is worship. That is walking with God.
So, like many of our prayers will be so much different now that we when we're
they are not in alignment with what God is saying.
Our prayers, they are just gymnastic and disturbing heaven, and we're
disturbing heaven. Well said.
We're disturbing heaven and just making and giving ourselves unnecessary, sore throats. That's what it is. That's what it is. How about having a real conversation with Daddy God? I mean, we were talking this afternoon that when you talk to your daddy, do you go about shouting and screaming and yelling unnecessarily? Do you not just have a one-to-one and pour your heart to him and take time to listen to him? Isn't that what relationship is about? Why do we have to make it such a shouting circus? And I'm so sorry, but this is very hard. It is really hard. It's a wake-up call. It's a real wake-up call, and to really question ourselves where we are. Are we even born again? Are we born again? You need to ask yourself, are you really born again? Do we need to be reborn again? And trust me, I wouldn't mind. I'm serious. I wouldn't mind, because if what I was told in the past is a fake one, then why not do it the original way? So these are the many things I'm going through. Yeah?
While you were talking, something just got to me. I was trying to tell him. I just remembered one incident. Every time we pray, we scream, like you said. One day I asked my pastor, I said, "Excuse me, sir, why is it that we have to scream? We have to scream, before this thing. We feel like God has heard our prayer." He said, "Because the demons in Africa." It's actually, yes, that the demons in Africa is stronger than the ones, because I said to him, because I've watched lots of foreigners, and when they pray, it's so calm, and everybody feels so cool. I'm like, whoa, this is so sweet. And he said to me, because the demons in Africa is stronger than the ones in the foreign countries, so that's why they pray at ease. I say, whoa, then God must be partial.
Why demon though? Why? We are talking about God. We are talking about church. We are talking about church. Why is demon doing there? We are talking about God. You didn't say about demon.
No, the demons hold the prayer.
So if you go to church, it is demon you are meeting with, not God. Yeah.
And this is another thing relating to
sin. You know, we magnify sin so much that it's now a normal thing. Like the normal religious person in Africa or wherever the world, they don't still believe that sin has been nailed on the cross. There is no amount of, revelation, preaching, that you will tell them that, babe, this thing is done away with. It's over. See, she will say, why is it that we still commit sin? I will tell them, the reason why we still commit sin is that Jesus did not just deal with the sin and say we no longer commit sin. He nailed it on the cross, helping us to have faith in him. That you will fall, yes, you will. Come on, but you already, it's not a problem. My forgiveness is forever. I don't have to. The Bible said, your sins I will remember no more. So why are you struggling? Why do you have to keep remembering your sins? Trying to, because we don't know the truth, the devil cages us. We become bound. The truths that we don't know become our principality. Then this reminder of what you've done, the devil keeps reminding you that, oh, you just sinned yesterday. Oh, you just sinned a few minutes ago. You keep running, oh God, I thought you are forgiving me, but this, because you don't know the truth. When you know the truth, you're going to tell the devil, look at the cross. I'm not trusting myself. I'm not looking at myself. Yes, I know this flesh will fall, but I'm not looking at my strength. There is a strength in the tree and the cross of righteousness. That is where I come from. And the moment the devil hears the truth, he's going to go away. The same thing we are struggling when it comes to demons and all that. That is what is holding Christians bound. And that is why pastors are taking advantage of this, people who don't know the truth. Because when you don't know the truth, they realize you don't know the truth. They will cage you, bring offerings, bring money. You want to be rich, you must sow. So you don't know that for you to be rich, for you to be worthy, it's way beyond sowing the seed in the man of God's feet. It's way beyond paying tithe and offering. You don't know. That is why you keep coming back over and over time. You've been there for 10 years. It's as if nothing is happening. But you still keep believing that someday, because the pastor is going to, he's going to keep telling you that someday, maybe today is not your turn. Yeah. Tomorrow is going to be your turn. And you're waiting for an end of tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. But when you know the truth that sets a man free, you will know that when it comes to financial, resources and all that, when it comes to wealth, then you have to obey principles. That when you want to go to heaven, you just give your life to Christ. Beautiful. And you just live in peace. You just live in peace. So anything contrary to that, whoever telling you, you just know that this is what I know. This is what, because I'm a born again, I have the Spirit of God living inside of me. So when I hear truth, I know. When I hear lie, I know. So when anybody is telling you something that is not true, and it's not in agreement with your spirit, you just don't listen to them. Really, if all Africans who really are born, have been bound in these whole lies, if they can really come to realize the truth, those churches will be empty. Those churches will be empty.
People will be free.
And people will be free.
Good evening, Pastor. Pastor, I really want to appreciate you for this teaching about the truth, what truth is not, what truth is. What a time to be alive. This is the best time to be alive. This is the best time to be alive because the number one goal of the enemy is to keep people from knowing the truth. Because the knowledge of the truth, once you know the truth, you don't shake. Because life is based on principles. So the enemy also knows that life is based on principles. So what he's doing in in Nigeria and in Africa is to keep people busy in religion. It's just catching people with religion. It's not more, people don't sin anymore in Africa a bit. It's just religion that is catching people. Because the enemy has succeeded in putting these lies as if it is truth. So people tend to believe, okay, this is the way. So now it becomes a cage for many people. So why I say that this is a good time to be alive is that I am so glad that we have young people in this platform, even here in this hall, because a young man is known by his strength. As we have received this truth, we are going to run with this truth. Whatsoever it will cost us, the truth must be told, the truth must be preached. And also, when Doctor was talking, he made mention about cars. The whole earth cannot and will not function properly without those I consider the authorized dealers. So who are the authorized dealers? These are the sons of God. These are the kingdom citizens. These are the ones that will bring the values of God upon this earth. So that is why in the book of Romans, the Bible says that the earnest expectation of the righteous crying, and they are waiting the manifestation of the sons of God. So until these people arise and been able to put the values of the kingdom in every sphere of life, they cannot be a perfect society. And there will not be equality in this planet. And another thing I want to say is the concept that we know as a truth in Africa and in Nigeria is, it wasn't truth. It was just too limited. Because I spent most of my life in churches. So while I was growing up, I was asking some questions. When I asked questions, pastor would tell me that I should come and see him in his office. But I wanted to know more because of this deception. Maybe somebody has difficulties in his finances, and pastor will come and lay hands on him. Just tell this, find a good book and read. And that is how the principle, that is how it's supposed to work. As at one time, I tell my pastor, because as at that time I had read this book by Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I recommended the book. I asked my pastor, because I was the admin, then I asked pastor, please, can you recommend this book for business people? It will help them. And pastor will say, no, it's because of, it is spirit, this thing is the devil. It's not, it's the ignorance. It's ignorance that is causing this thing. And also, for me to run up, I would likely say that the truth, we are the truth. If anybody wants to see God on this planet, we should be the people that God, they will look and say, I can see God in this planet. That is, the Bible says that blessed is the man that is pure in heart, for he shall see God. When he sees God, it's always, it's all the time. So we are God in the flesh. We represent Christ in this earth. That is who we are. And if we failed to capture that truth, that is who we are, that is the stronghold of the enemy that is catching people. Doctor, once again, I want to appreciate you for your wisdom and your knowledge, that you have been able to take us from one process to the other, so that we have been able to dissect the teaching. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Well, thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful evening. Both the students and the ones at home.